Good morning, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
Getting the camera connected. Oh, how are you?
Second. Hey, how you doing? Gotcha.
How are you?
I'm good. Are you?
I'm well. How are you, Billy? Oh, he's not there. How is it in the UK right now? What's going on?
Well, pretty much it's all about the government right now. It's quite funny. They've been partying, so it's kind of funny that they've been partying and we're not allowed to, and it's all come out in the news. It's quite hilarious, actually. Like all the toffs, the conservative toffs, when we were all locked down and we couldn't visit people who were dying in hospital and things like that, they were having parties in Downing Street. So it's kicking. I
did hear about that. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's kicking right off here. No, it's really good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, things are in lockdown kind of in Ontario again. It's really, really crappy. How are things going where you're at, Billy? And how are you?
I'm doing good. It's been snowing a lot lately. Yeah. You know what? Surprisingly, the city is handling things a little differently. We just elected a new mayor who began at the start of the year, so he's doing things a bit differently, and things aren't so strict and so harsh. But then again, a lot of the city got their booster shots already, and so it's not as bad. It's still not pre-2019 levels where you got Times Square packed shoulder to shoulder and tourists from all over the world. It's not there yet, but it's creeping in that direction. It's slowly making it
there. We're pretty much back to normal, really. I mean, the restrictions are so limited now. It's kind of good because we've got gigs going on. I think the really large gigs aren't going on, so we keep waiting to hear if we're still playing with Saxon next week. So it's like, we think we are, because it's not over 5,000 capacity at that one, so it should be okay.
Right. So that's
at least that.
The limit, right? It's the 5,000.
Well, yeah, they're saying it's different. It's different. The goalposts move all the time, so nobody has a clue. I mean, obviously, the clubs under 500 are fine. They can carry on as normal. Some are having tables. In Scotland and Wales, they have different rules. So people are coming down from Scotland and Wales, and they're coming in anyway. So it's just ridiculous. They just come down to England.
Welcome, James. How are you, brother?
I'm good, thanks.
How are things where you're at? How are things in... Well, where are you at?
Well, I would like to say that I'm in sunny Florida, but as of 2 days ago, that's not quite true.
Yeah, it doesn't look so sunny out.
It's foggy. Is that fog?
Yeah. Well, it's overcast and very windy, and
looks like Britain. It looks like where I am.
Yeah, it's been rainy. It's been terrible. I've spent a lot of time in the UK, and I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, pretty grim.
I had friends come from the UK to Gay Pride in Toronto, and all they did was take pictures of things with the blue sky in the, like this. I'm like, what are you doing?
That's about right. Every time it's sunny, all the Brits get straight on the beach. It's like, I know it's only 50 degrees, but it's warm.
Yeah, it's really cold. I think we lost James for a second there. He'll probably come back. We did actually invite Graham, and we have to do things by email. Things take a little bit longer when we chat, and he thought it was for 5 o'clock. So people who repeat get confused as to Mondays to Fridays being different times. So you guys are more than welcome to come back at 5 o'clock and have a chat with Graham if you want, and see how he feels about what's going to happen or not happen, because I'm sure he's itching to play. Hey, welcome back.
Sorry about that. I touched my, I dared touch my AirPod, and you do that. You're done.
So we were just talking about where we're at and what's going on with restrictions, and are you able to play right now?
Well, I did just play out on December 11th and 12th. I did a 2-night engagement in Tampa, and it was great. I mean, it was sold out. There were no masks. I mean, people were advised to be, vaccinated or to wear a mask if they weren't. I didn't see anyone wearing a mask, and I'm sure that not everyone was vaccinated. I'm vaccinated, and you know, so is my fiance who was with me, and you know, I know a number of the musicians that I was playing with are also vaccinated, but you know, can't really say anything about anyone else. There's no like vaccine passport requirement or anything like that.
Yeah, Florida is one of those places that's just seemed to stay.
I mean, both shows were sold out, so it was packed to the gills both nights, and
that's surprising too, because I keep hearing people saying that people are afraid to attend, that they're not coming out to the shows. You know, just a little bit of fear on that end. So
I don't think that's so much in Florida.
No.
At least not those shows. I mean, they were kind of special shows. They were basically tributes to Chuck on the 20th anniversary of his passing. And I played together with Terry Butler, who is also who appeared with me on Death's third album back in the day. And, we played that album in its entirety. And I mean, people traveled from all over the world for this. I mean, I know people came, and I know a guy that came from Scotland.
Yeah, and not just
to get away from Scotland.
And that's scary,
he's a great dude that was a huge fan of awesome. My career and my, and I guess me in general. So it was really funny because when he met me, he was so overwhelmed. He was basically in tears.
I bet he can't get home.
I gave him a big hug. I mean, I'm vaccinated. And I'm actually probably going to get my booster today. If I can do a walk-in today, I'm going to get my booster. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think, it's funny that New York is handling it differently. Everywhere is handling it differently. And I was so hoping that 2022 we could stop talking about this bull crap and like move forward and just talk about what we're doing, but it's,
we were close to being able to. And then, Omicron said, screw you.
Exactly.
It's not as powerful though, is it? I mean, literally in Britain, there's hardly anybody going down.
Yeah.
There's lots of people going down with it, but nobody's fatally ill or, it's not really casualties.
Yeah. I think people with a lot of severe comorbidities might be, face a lot more problems than healthier individuals, but it is weaker. Like it's what it is that it's more transmissive. So it
like
gets
cold,
to more
isn't it?
people quicker. Yeah, but it's not as strong.
Not as strong.
Well, we did a tour. We did a tour at the end of the year last year, Girlschool, and Alcatraz, and of course there were 12 of us on the tour, 2 different buses, and we managed to do 10 gigs before Denise, our drummer, got it. So 6 out of the 12 got it, but nobody even knew they had it. It was that mild, and Denise is not the fittest person you can imagine. She's really unfit, and she was fine. She didn't even know she had it until we did the test, because we were doing the test, lateral flow test for the gigs for the benefit of the guests.
If you know me,
big fan of both bands, by the way. Massive Alcatraz fan and a Girlschool fan as well. I had every vinyl that was out by like 1986. I think it was a couple. I had a couple, and my dad made me sell them when we moved back from Germany. The asshole.
What?
I love my dad, but he was a jagoff back then. He really was. He was military and very arbitrarily authoritarian. It was like arbitrary. There was no rhyme or reason to it. So I had built up, living in Germany. We had been in Germany for about 4 years, and I had amassed an awesome collection of vinyl. Just skipping school and going to German record stores.
Lots of them there.
Girlschool amongst them, and Alcatraz amongst them, and Anvil amongst them. And
it's coming back. It's coming back as vinyl, isn't it? We've been selling it, a lot of it on tour. Yeah.
I know so many.
If I had that collection right now, I wish
20 years, I'd say 30 years. The record industry, they had a huge market, like a stall at the huge Toronto farmers market for records, right? And it almost died out. Like he was really struggling for years to make $1, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just came back with a vengeance. And he blamed it on the scenesters and the fucking, in a way, but. And then in the last few years, you're right. It's like more vinyls being made than ever before. There's a shortage on it. it's hard for the record labels to actually get your records pressed now because
here in the UK, I used to work for a pressing factory years and years ago when I was younger.
Oh, how cool!
But they've all shut down because my other band, Syteria, we wanted to put vinyl out, and we had to literally get the acetate done in Czech Republic and then sent back here to press because there's nobody open anymore. There used to be hundreds of pressing factories, and there's only two in Britain. But of course, all the people in the charts, your Ed Sheerans and your Elton Johns, they're using that. So you're in a queue. You've got to wait like 12 weeks just to get your acetate, your positive cut. And then
sounds like a business opportunity for someone enterprising.
I know, right?
It does, doesn't it? But then it changes so often, doesn't it? You never know, really. But yeah.
Has anybody ever seen the records from Russia where it was illegal to make music? And this guy was going to all the hospitals and getting x-rays and pressing the x-rays and putting music on them. And these records are some of the most beautiful records I've seen. They're some of the most expensive, if you're a vinyl collector, I've ever seen, but totally worth every dollar. And some of them have cool things like head scans or, spinal scans on them and stuff.
Oh, that's
really cool.
There's a real skull in for a change.
Yeah.
That'd be very metal, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know. It wasn't metal that they put on them, unfortunately. I think it was bad, cheesy underground dance music.
What a waste.
But it's the fact that this guy could have died or gone to jail to make these that made them so cool.
Amazing, yeah. That's incredible,
and the lengths and the need for music, right?
Are they still illegal in Russia?
They are. I see them come up every once in a while on eBay, but they're quite.
Probably not illegal anymore. I shouldn't imagine.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the story behind it was just so neat. And as a medical patient, I had a lot of x-rays and I was like, I wish I could find somebody who can do this because everything is digital now. You can't get a hold of an actual x-ray anymore. I even tried to go to vets and get x-rays of animals or whatever, but couldn't find any actual film anymore. So I always thought it was so cool just how they got sound onto a record. Did anybody have the Fisher Price record player when they were a kid?
Oh yeah. I used to think I was a DJ when I was like 3 years old.
You scratched those.
Yeah. I used to get down to row your boat.
Get a beat behind it.
What was the first song you guys learned?
Ziggy Stardust for me. I learned Ziggy Stardust on guitar for first song,
for me it was Iron Man from Black Sabbath, and that's because that was the first thing I could record off the radio when I first got my guitar at a pawn shop. So yeah.
I would say that. Is my mic muted?
Nope.
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay. I would say that it probably was Iron Man for me too, at least in terms of the first riff that I learned.
Wow.
But the very first song that I learned how to play all the way through, solo and all, was "You Shook Me All Night Long."
Nice. I didn't get through.
It was a funny one. I love to tell the story about that one.
I can't play anything.
I love to tell the story about that one because I was, this is how when I first learned my vibrato, is I was, learning Angus Young solos, and he has a fantastic vibrato. And so I was just learning it by ear. I didn't really, I didn't have any tuition about it. I just heard it and I was trying to do it. And I figured out how to do it, how to make vibrato. And I was trying to match Angus's vibrato. And I just remember my sister came to my door and watched and was looking at me. She's about 3 years younger than me. And so I was maybe 15 at the time or 16. And she was, so about 13 maybe. And she came to the door and looked at me with this just penetrating look like, what the fuck are you doing? And so I stopped and, I stopped as soon as the song was over and I said, hey, what's up? And she just looked at me and goes, why are you wiggling your fingers like that? And I just said, well, I mean, I don't know, it sounds cool. she just went, well, it looks stupid. And she walked off.
Eat her words now, eh? Eat her words now. Is she like your critic now still?
No, she's she's cool. She's a cool lady these days. Just chill.
Chill.
She was very critical of me back when we were teenagers.
So what drew you to the instruments that you guys picked up? Like, what was it about?
For me, it was the Foreigner song "Jukebox Hero," where I was sick in bed. My family went to get Chinese takeout, and I went to turn on the radio, but being sick in bed, I just kind of threw my hand in the general vicinity. So when I turned on the radio, I switched the dial by accident from the usual dance radio station to our hard rock station. It was called 103 She's Only Rock and Roll. This is in Miami, Florida. And the first song that came on was Jukebox Hero. And by the end of the song, I was jumping up and down on my bed. I didn't care that I had to, that I was sick. I was rocking out.
That's it.
I just had to go to a pawn shop and buy a guitar just like the song. So that's what drew me to playing guitar. I wanted to be the guy in the song.
Right, exactly. And you, Jackie?
Oh man, mine's totally different. I just wanted to be a songwriter. And when I was 17, I just writing songs in my head, and I got a guitar literally just to write songs on. But then there was a flaw in that, because when I was trying to sing and play, I couldn't do both at the same time. So I got a friend of mine who's just walking past the window, came inside, "Can you sing this?" And when I'm playing it, and of course then he says, "Oh, we should start a band." So he ended up being a singer, and I ended up playing guitar. So it just kind of started from there.
Yeah,
cool.
That is really cool. That is really cool.
Yeah.
Is he still in the band?
No, Johnny Batty. He had a great punk name. Johnny Batty. That was his real name.
Oh, wow. Yeah, cool. Where's he at?
No idea.
No idea.
Married, working in a bank, 5 kids, and us.
Wow, I'm surprised he isn't at every show.
I probably was the initial seed that made me want to start playing was just my dad, because he had an acoustic guitar and he was just like a strummer, and he'd sing sometimes. He would do some old folk stuff, some really old country stuff, but he also would play, stuff like Jim Croce and Doobie Brothers and, Three Dog Night and stuff like that he played in the home, and he would sit down and like try to do like simple strumming versions of a lot of those songs, so that made me that's how I started, learning my first couple of chords. But what really fired me up to want an electric guitar and want to be in a rock and roll band, I mean, come on, it was Ace Frehley. This was the mid '70s, and like Billy said, I started listening to Kiss, and I started getting on the bed with a broom and jumping up and down like I was playing guitar, and even get my sister, to join me, and we'd pretend to be, she was much younger and not as critical, but just had fun with that, and then it went from Ace Frehley to I think probably like Angus Young and Tony Iommi, and then boom, Randy Rhoads, and it was over. I had to play. I knew it.
And how does it feel now to just be acknowledged as, on the same list as those people?
I don't know. I don't know if I.
You guys are all so humble.
I'm not
it's
on
so
the same
crazy.
list with those people. You know what I mean? I'm not. But
you are though.
I actually do have a book that is. It's a nice little hardcover book. I think it's. As purported to rate the best heavy metal guitar players of all time, and I'm in it with guys like that. With guys like
Isn't that crazy, right?
So.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Really
and Jackie,
I know it's lovely. I mean, I'm not in that sort of league. I'm not really a fiddler, not really a twiddler. I'm more of just like a riff sort of person. I think the biggest compliment I ever had was when we did a song called I Spy with Tony Iommi, and Ronnie James Dio sang it.
Wow.
And of course,
nice.
I played all the song, the riff, because when I wrote the song, I wrote it and I called it Black, because this is when Kelly had just died, so we were all in this little slump. And I called it Black, and I thought, because it sounded like Black Sabbath, and I played it to the girls, and they said, "Oh man, that is so Black Sabbath. We've got to get Tony on this." So I recorded the whole thing, the riff, everything, we did they even put the vocals down. It was ready to go. And we thought, right, let's get Tony on it, see if he'll do a solo. So we literally had to copy and paste like 8 bars.
Oh,
we sent
wow.
it to Tony, and Tony loved it. He said, yeah, that's really, he liked the riff. And of course, then all the journalists, every time we did an interview, they said, "Oh, wasn't it great to get one of Tony Iommi's riffs on your thing?" No, actually, that's Tony himself saying that he actually liked it. I thought, yeah, now that to me was it's such a simple riff. It's really simple, but it's lovely to hear Tony Iommi himself say, "Now that's a great riff." You know, that's from the riff master himself, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anybody, you can get all your awards, whatever. Tony Iommi said he liked my riff. Die happy. That's good. Good enough for me.
Yeah. That's definitely one of those, bucket, can die happy moments. I had my best one probably. I would say, I think it was at NAMM in about 2006 when I ran into Uli John Roth, and about 8 years earlier, I had recorded, no, not 8, no, more like about 12 or 13, 14, something like that, years earlier. I had with Testament, 12 years earlier, with Testament, I had recorded as a B-side, Sails of Sharon. And I had to do that awesome Uli solo in the beginning, and I loved it. I was been a fan of that solo since I was a kid. And so I approached it with reverence. I didn't want to mess with it. And had my stamp on it just by virtue of the fact that I vibrato the way I vibrato, I bend the way I bend. I can't really change that. It's like your DNA, your fingerprints. Right. But I went at it in a very note for note sort of way, and so that had been out for about 12 years, and I met Uli for the first time at NAMM in 2006, and I approached him and waited until the last person that was autograph taker, picture taker. And then I approached him, and I just wanted to get it quickly because I could see other people were coming up. And I was just like, hey, if I introduced myself who I was, and I mentioned that I had played a cover, I had done a cover of Sails when I was with Testament. And he, all of a sudden, his eyes got real big, and he turns and looks at me. He goes, "Was that you? Was that you who played the solo?"
Wow.
And I said, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "You're the only one who ever did it right." I was just like, I'm gonna die right now.
Gosh, wow. That must have felt so good. So
he was so excited, it was great.
I bet. Is there anybody now out of all the people you must have met and worked with, and the question goes to all of you guys, that you would want to work with that you haven't gotten a chance to?
Well, for me, I'm a big fan of the Tony Martin era of Black Sabbath, and he and I are friends on Facebook. So in case he's watching this, Tony Martin, I would love to do something with him, whether it be with my band Forsaken or whether it be some CD where we pay tribute to somebody or anything.
Anything,
anything with Tony Martin, because I really, really love his singing, and I believe his era of Black Sabbath is so underrated. It's so amazing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It is very underrated.
Yeah, that would be.
I love those albums as well.
Well, I would say just reach out and ask, because I think artists are now just sitting around, especially in places where we can't do anything, and they're looking to collab, and there's so many cool things like the Sabbath Scenario project, that is something
Don't
super.
Ask, don't get. I always say don't ask, don't get.
Exactly. And it's, it took a lot for me sometimes to reach out to people, because, who would have thought that people like you would respond to somebody like me? I got laughed at a lot, for even thinking of trying. And then what's the worst that could happen, right?
Oh yeah, it's like the old saying that my grandfather used to say to me all the time: "The squeaky wheel gets the grease."
Right? It's true. It's very, very true. It's
very true.
So who would you guys want to work with, Jackie?
Oh man, it's always got to be Alice Cooper. I mean, I've been on tour with Alice Cooper, but it's not the same. I'd love, because when I write, sometimes I write songs, and because I've listened to him since I was so young, there's always in the back of my mind, I imagine him singing it. Sometimes, like I wrote a song, Halloween, it's called Halloween. Straight away in my mind, Alice Cooper was singing it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I
discovered him in grade 6. And the entire year of grade 6, I would leave the house, and I had hidden on the way to school eye makeup so that I would show up to school with the Alice Cooper eyes, and I get suspended every single time. And eventually they said, well, she's legally has to attend school so many days. We can't kick her out anymore. And they couldn't figure out how I was leaving the group home that I was in to get to school looking the way I got every day. Like, it's just, I was always messing with them. Yeah. But I have loved Cooper since I was, so small. I agree. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, me too.
And the fact that he is now working with, I think, every woman's heartthrob.
Exactly. No,
right?
Well, originally, when Kelly was in the band back in the early 80s, Alice Cooper, because Brian Nelson, Kelly was a friend of Brian Nelson's in LA, and apparently he wanted Kelly in the band then.
Wow.
But so it just didn't happen. I don't know what happened. That's probably about his rehab time. I can't remember. But yeah, so that's interesting.
I think that you should reach out to him, Jackie, and ask him.
Well, he's got his feet. He's got Nina now, and he's had them all now, hasn't he? So yeah. What? He's had so many female musicians.
Nina Strauss, yeah.
Nina.
No. I definitely still think you should do it, and I definitely think you should ask him to be on the show, because I have no way to be. To
actually write a song for him rather than play. Do you know what I mean?
Wow, really?
I'll leave the technical ones to play, but I'd love to actually just write something, just what he'd sing. You know what I hate? When you hear something in your head when you've written it, to hear it how you wrote it would be amazing.
It is. I remember when I was young and I discovered that the person may have not written the song, that you connect so deeply to the person that's singing it or playing it. And then you find out it doesn't come from their soul, and you're like, oh, really? That's how it works? But
there's a lot of people doing that, you know.
I know. I didn't realize that's how it worked. I thought everybody did their own stuff. But then as a songwriter, yeah, you might not hear it in a female voice or a male voice. It might need to be done by somebody else. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Kim Girlschool, she's pretty much like Alice Cooper. Anyway, she looks like him. We always tell her that she just looks like Alice Cooper front side, long hair, black hair, and nose.
Do a cover band, man. They're all the rage in Canada, because we get a hard time getting the real bands up here. You know,
tributes. Yeah.
The big clubs are now doing tributes. Like every place does tributes, and they're getting good.
The thing is, it's killing the industry, though. It's really killing the industry.
It is,
because they get so much money. They get better paid than most bands do, and so most bands, the original bands I'm talking about, tend to go and play in covers bands or tribute bands because they get better paid, and it's kind of killing the scene. And a lot of clubs won't take on originals bands because they're not sure of the attendance. Whereas with tribute bands, they know they're going to fill it. So you can't
exactly. And that's, I have, in Toronto, I use Toronto as a good example. The real estate, the rent, the cost to run a club on a Saturday night. If you're getting a local band that people don't know very well and they're not going to fill it, and you get a cover band in, people are going to drink all night long because they know the songs. They're going to make way more money. Yeah. And with, them fighting to stay open right now, I'm kind of on the bar of supporting the clubs and trying to support the bands too. So,
it's difficult because you can see both sides, can't you, really? Definitely.
I see it happening more too now that, the travel restrictions, just everything happening. We are not open. We have no in seat dining right now. We can sit outside though. This is funny. It's minus 30 degrees outside, okay? So when I was talking to my friend from the States who translated that's minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit, if you guys are like trying to figure that out, right? Fucking cold. So we're allowed to eat outside under 10, but not inside. Like, that's just crazy.
Yikes, that's crazy. Yeah. Does anybody do it? I've got to ask, does anybody sit there?
Because you can have those big I don't know, they run on propane, right? So they actually keep it quite warm, right? So you can tent it. But now you've got an outside indoor thing, which is just as contagious as it being inside. Like, it's stupid. It's so it's beyond frustrating. And I just want to get over this so we can get back. And like
it's kind of what's happening in Britain. They've just said, let's get on with it now, because it's like cold now. It's going to be here forever. We know that. It's like flu's been here forever. Yeah. Flu's probably killing more people than this is actually right now. And cancer, because nobody can get into hospitals for treatment. So that's things are killing people.
My surgery got postponed. Other people's things are getting postponed because of this. And we're talking 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the third year doing it. So things are getting so backed up. It's like you're waiting 2 years to see a first appointment for a doctor. If you get diagnosed with something drastic, you're waiting 2 years to see your specialist.
People are a little cold and they're getting put in hospital. It's really crazy.
It is. So I'm, you know, I hope that people just take the best care that they can, and to just try and, you know, stay as safe as they can when they do their shows, you know. Are you worried about that show at all, James? Like just people showing up and getting sick? Was that a worry at all on your mind?
Yeah, I was concerned. Yeah, definitely. And so, you know, we really paid it, you know, after the show, me and my fiance, we live out in the countryside, you know, a good, you know, 5 miles from a small little town and about, you know, 17, 18 miles from a little mid-sized city. But we, you know, we had enough supplies. We just stayed home, you know, out in the country, no one else around us. And we stayed home for a couple of weeks and, you know, basically waited out the incubation period and we were fine. So, you know, and, but, you know, I heard about some people. I didn't hear about anyone that was part of the production because it was quite a big production, those shows. You know, there was, you know, a whole team involved, and none of them, I don't think any of them got sick.
Yeah, wow. 53 people I know personally have died or gotten severely sick in the last month. So it's almost like every time I open my Facebook, it's another person, and I'm like, wow. You know, maybe that's just because I have so many people filtering through my Facebook the way I do. But, you know, it was a lot. This
time of year, a lot of people die this time of year anyway.
It's true. And, you know, we're losing a lot of people just in general. I mean, every other month we, you know, it's just been quite a ride.
Yeah.
It really has.
I'm hoping that we got Saxon next week, so I'm playing with Saxon Girlschool and Uriah Heep next week, and I think Diamond Head if they can make it over.
Oh well, like I said,
that'd be
Graham
an awesome
just
show
messaged me.
I love all of those bands.
Graham just messaged me. He was supposed to be on today's show. We had a little bit of technical difficulties laying in lift, so I'm not sure where they're at. So we're gonna try again at 5:00. So if you'd like to come back and have a chit chat with Graham Oliver, you're all welcome to do so. We'll try again at 5. Jackie, I know that's very late for you.
Not that late, but
yeah, I mean, please. I'd really like Billy. Are you available then?
Unfortunately not, but
okay, that's cool.
Because I got rehearsals coming up. My band plays on the 26th here in New York City. So yeah, I got rehearsals.
What's the capacity limit on it?
I think they're playing it by ear. Every week, New York City's throwing up different numbers. So I don't want to throw up a number that's going to change in a couple of days.
Right.
So,
right.
But they did limit it to 3 bands. So, which is for New York for a New York club, that's very little. That's about half.
Really? Are you getting half the set time, or are you getting longer set time then?
No, we're getting about the same, 40 minutes. So for us, it's about the same. They just want less people coming in and out, I guess.
Yeah, that's a trend that just the trend of every club needing to have 6 bands every night. I hate that, you know, and unfortunately it happened on the shows that I just did last month. There's 6 bands, you know.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It was really
annoying. Nothing against the bands. They were all great. They were all great guys and everything. You know, nothing against them, guys and gals. There's a couple of girls in the bands. So I don't want to, you know, leave them out just by using the wrong nomenclature there. But
we get called dudes all the time.
Nothing against nothing against any of them personally or their bands. But it was just annoying to have that many bands, and a lot of the people, you know, the punters, as they say, as they call them in the UK, the punters didn't enjoy it either. One of the biggest complaints we got. You know?
Yeah, I get you, because we played what was it, the Whiskey in LA.
That's a small place too.
It's a small place, yeah. I think we were headlining it, and there were a Crucified Barber on before us, and then there were another 5 bands before that.
crazy.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you've had enough by the time 3 bands been on, or nobody comes in for the first 3 or 4 bands. It's
I was gonna say that'd be perfect for like a 1-day campover event. You know, like 1 day.
Yeah, it's like a festival, a little mini festival in a way, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's not the sort of place for a festival because it's only a club, isn't it? Really,
right? Yeah, and then the other fact I was just gonna say, how are they possibly making enough money to pay 6 bands?
They probably don't. They probably paid us our fee.
Probably don't pay the first.
They won't pay the first few bands anything.
Honestly,
they've got a few cans of beer.
The first few probably paid to. You know,
I know.
Yeah, that's true. They probably pay to play. Yeah.
You slave labor for free, where you have to pay to play. And actually, it is illegal in Canada to even call in your employee for 1 hour. You have to pay them for 4.
Sometimes they do the ticket things that they give you tickets to sell, don't they? You must sell 20 tickets and then you can play or something like that. So it's still the same.
On a human rights level, it seems so wrong the way it works, right? But the entire industry would collapse if we changed it to equal pay, human rights, and all that stuff. But let's create an old style gangster type union, you know?
Yeah. But, you know, to be fair, I think you're meant to struggle when you're a young new band, and you know. But I mean, I certainly think it's abused.
It is,
you know, I know
abused.
There's one thing.
Yeah,
like headliners will sometimes, you know, have openers on a package tour, and the openers will have to pay to get on it.
I know. When
and that money is going to, you know, the headliners and their booking agents, et cetera, you know,
that's
and
been
management.
For years, isn't it? Buy-ons.
Yeah, years and years and years. But there's this thing where even still, then, you know, when it comes to clubs, you know, clubs will tack on another couple of bands, and you wonder why they're doing it. I mean, they must be getting some form of remuneration.
Right.
They probably put a local band on, so they bring in a local crowd. A lot of them do that. The first band generally is the local crowd.
Yeah.
This is why I was puzzled, because the shows that I did in December, the first night was completely sold out, and the second night was sold out shy about 50 tickets at the moment that they announced that there would be local openers. It was already almost completely sold out. So we were just scratching our heads going, what even is the benefit of that? You know?
Right.
Well, like friends of the manager, friends of the bar.
Hey, yeah,
begged them to put them on.
Yep. And I mean, probably everybody, if they hear you're coming to play, everybody who's local is probably a friend going, hey, can I play? Can I play? Can I play?
Yeah. I'll play for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I know that gets abused a lot. You're right. But I think you're right that you also have to work your way up to earn, you know, the status that you get to at your level, right? You have to put the work in. But I think if you don't have parents or money or somebody helping you, or a third or fourth or fifth job, like how the heck are you supposed to come up with the buy-on amount of like $10,000 to play with a big name, right? It's a really or this whole pay to play in Toronto was going on right before the pandemic, really hard, and I was just like, that is the sickest thing. But again, these places have to find some way to stay open.
At this gig, it's pay at the door, and you get paid what you draw. So that's so
very
that's
common.
about fair.
Very common.
Call it door deals, that.
Well, anyways, we got 1 minute. I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for being here, and we'll hopefully talk to you later tonight. But thank you so much, and
thanks. Lovely to meet you guys.
Cheers. It was great.
Cheers.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thanks. Nice to meet all of you.
You guys should do a collab together.
Have some great shows, guys.
Awesome. Yes.
Have a great show, Billy, next week.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Have a good one.
Good luck. All right, guys. Keep well. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.